guys, welcome to our class tonight. We're going to make sushi pizza. I'm Mary.
I'm Lucas.
And we do the Force Fresh Alaska website, and we're on Instagram and Facebook. So please feel free to follow us. Send us messages if you have any questions after watching the recording. And if you hear any odd noises in the background, that's our dog. Let's see if you can see him. He might be whining and, making noises in the background. He gets excited when we cook. So please feel free to stop the participants. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and unmute and ask. You might be, busy doing stuff, so it'd be easier if I heard you guys. So I guess I'll go ahead and get in. If you are following along tonight, if you were able to make your sushi rice, then would be all ready to go. And if you have not started your sushi rice, what you can do is go ahead and rinse 2 cups of rice until it runs clear, and then let it sit in a colander for about an hour and let it drain. And once you get to that point, what you're going to want to do is, once it's drained and has sat for an hour, then you can add it to a pot of 3 cups of water. And then you can make your vinegar solution. I guess would it be a
vinegar rice?
Yeah,
rice vinegar.
You can make your rice vinegar on the side.
And sugar and salt.
Yeah. So what I do, like with the rice that we made tonight, I do the 2 cups of rice with the 3 cups of water. And while while the rice is draining, I go ahead and make the vinegar solution, which is 5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, and then 3 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of salt. And so I just let that kind of dissolve, and I put it on like the lowest temperature on the stove while it's mixing up. So if you haven't started your sushi rice, please feel free to go ahead and start that. And if you do have your sushi rice, actually, can you guys, I would love to see who's going to follow along. If you could just send me a little message in the chat. And then if you have any questions as we go along, like if you want to, turn on your video and show and ask anything, please feel free. So great. We'll start with this first.
Okay.
Can you get the broiler on?
Yeah.
So what we did is we went ahead and laid the sushi rice out to cool on the pan. And now that it's all cool and set up, I put it on wax paper. Lucas is going to put the broiler on high. And I'm just going to show you, just so we have some manageable sushi rice into pizza, because this is a pretty big pan. I'm going to separate the rice. Let's see if you guys can see it. I'm going to separate it kind of in half. So just with my large spreader, or if you have a large knife, just kind of separate the rice and squish it to one side.
And just so you know, if you put your sushi rice on wax paper and you're boiling it on high, it's probably going to catch on fire. So be prepared.
Or put it on the lower rack.
You don't have to spray it with the fire extinguisher, but you can just blow it out. As you can guess, we probably ran into that a couple times.
Can you use parchment paper instead? I guess it's still a fire risk, huh?
Yeah. It'll kind of just singe the edges.
Basically, what you want to do is know your oven pretty well. So like we're going to broil it, and when we broil it, it could take us a little bit longer to get it like kind of crispy. So what we're going to do with the sushi rice is I'm going to separate it into the 2 sides and kind of break it down by the wax paper in half. If you want to grab me another baking sheet to stick this on, and then we're going to put some sesame oil. So the goal is to really kind of get it like crispy and just a little toasted, so that it kind of sticks together and has that nice toasted flavor. Yeah, I'm going to cut it and put half on there.
Okay.
We'll just do half. And if you haven't, you should get yourself some cooking wine, or some beverage. Remember that cooking is supposed to be fun. So please enjoy this and don't be too worried.
Are you drizzling the sesame oil just on top?
Yeah, so I haven't done that yet.
Oh, got it.
Ideally, if you have a pastry brush, it would be great to put it in a little dish, pour the sesame oil, and then kind of,
I forgot to get it.
yeah, he was gonna buy a new pastry brush, but he forgot. And I don't know what happened to our other one. I think our 6-year-old took off with it and thought it was a fun paintbrush, so. So I'm gonna angle this down again, just so you can see what I did. And basically, I'm just breaking it in half so it's manageable, and I'm just gonna lift it up from the wax paper. Are you doing this one? Oh yeah, yeah, this one here.
Got it.
And with that spreader, so once you spread it out, you kind of want to just kind of push it back together just to kind of make that nice, like, firm crust. You know, if there's any gaps in the rice, just kind of push it in. And that's what's really good about this tool. You don't have to have one this big, but a small one works as well. So just kind of push it all together. Do you want to get some sesame oil?
Yep. And if you don't have a brush, you can use a spoon and just put a little bit in it. And then you drizzle it. You can kind of
Use this spreader if you want to, or your fingers, and just get it all in there.
just kind of coat the top is what you're wanting to get accomplished here. Since we're making this for ourselves, I'm going to use my finger. But if you're doing it for your friends, you might want to use the spreader. There you go.
Cool. Okay, so I just saw a comment in the chat that says, actually, we throw a piece of dried seaweed in with our vinegar. Not sure if that's typical. That is, there's a lot of people that want that flavor, so you can add the seaweed. And actually, one thing that I did a little bit different, let me show you. So instead of using regular salt, I used the alder smoked salt from Alaska Pure Sea Salt Company, and it just gives it a little bit of a smoky flavor, which I like. I think it works really well with the smoked salmon and the smoked black cod tips that we're going to use tonight. You want to put this in and get it boiled? Just tuck that in. So Lucas is going to go ahead and put this in the broil, or under the broil, and you know, it's going to take I think probably a good 5-10 minutes, probably at least 10 minutes if I remember correctly from last time. And I think last time I started with a low, and then it could take quite a bit. So we just kind of up the broil to high, and if you could just keep a close eye on that. Yeah, and so now I'm just going to show you some of our ingredients that we'll start to prep for the sushi pizza. And I'd be curious to hear what you guys brought and what you guys are going to use on your pizza tonight. Lucas, do you want to? Or
Avocado?
oh yeah. So
Here, I'll cut it.
we got 2 different fish, and really the purpose of this is to kind of use what you prefer or what you would like, just like with sushi, right? Like there's tons of different ingredients you can use. Sometimes we have jarred smoked salmon, but tonight we have, if you guys can see it, a chunk of smoked salmon. And this, we're just going to go ahead and break it up into little pieces. And then we also have the smoked black cod. And if you're not sure where to get smoked black cod, we actually got this from Catch Sitka. So we purchased our smoked stuff tonight. We grew those avocados in our garden. Just kidding, totally didn't. But It would be amazing if we did. Cucumber, cream cheese. We have chives that we're gonna dice up. And then we also have black sesame seeds. And then we have a little bit, which I think is kind of fun, is we're gonna sprinkle some dried beach asparagus. And all I did is I blended that up to make more of like almost like a seasoning. So we're gonna add that to it.
And then it's not, you gotta have this if you're doing any sushi.
Yeah, so our sides, wasabi, pickled ginger, soy sauce, and then our favorite is this orange sauce from Iron Chef.
Super good.
Okay, looks good, right?
It's good. Put it on a little rack this time.
So let's check the chats.
Do you want me to start prepping?
Yeah, but okay, chat, a perfect avocado purchased in Southeast. That is a miracle. Lucas is really good at picking avocados. Every time I do it, they're black. I just basically throw them away. So does anyone want to chime in on what they're going to put on their sushi pizza? Oh, I see one thing. What's Catch Sitka? So Catch Sitka, they smoke salmon, they smoke cod.
And Bend, Oregon, they deliver.
Okay, they deliver in Bend, Oregon. So good to know.
Well, they deliver anywhere there.
Yeah, so I think if you can find them on social media, Catch Sitka, or a website. And if you don't have time to smoke your own salmon, or like us, we didn't have any cod.
You gotta turn this on or else it's gonna.
Yeah, turn it on.
It's gonna be
You
loud.
can turn it on low if you need to, or just open the door.
We can weirdly get barnacle seafood stuff at one of our farmers markets because we get one of the fishermen, one of the boats comes down with catch stuff and just brings shipments of their stuff.
They do what? They bring in a bunch of stuff?
They bring so like the barnacle seafood, like the seasoning and the salsas and stuff. One of our sister's farmers market, one of the vendors who's a fisherman brings it with him.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it makes me laugh every time that I can get like these weird, like these Alaska like seasonings and salsas just right at the farmer's market. So
yeah.
What
And
is it?
oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's,
This.
I feel lucky.
yes. Barnacle hot sauce, always good.
Yes.
So we use this quite a bit on our seafood. And then also, if you do have any barnacle, we're actually completely out, but they have this seasoning called Everything Seasoning, and it has kelp in it. And it is really good for the sushi pizza. It has the black sesame seeds. So if you don't have black sesame seeds and you want to use a little bit of that, basically what you see in the background, I'm just going to bring it over here. Lucas is prepping. So however you want to prep, you want nice bite-sized pieces. Think of the sizes that you guys have sushi rolls before, right? So you have like a whole sushi roll that you stick in your mouth and sometimes it's too big. So think about when you're cutting your avocados, your cucumbers, or anything you're going to place on top, that you just think of small bite-sized pieces.
We decided to go with more like cubes and everything, just because that's the way when you cut it, it's in squares, so it kind of fits the profile of the dish.
Yeah. Well, I break apart some smoked salmon and cod. Feel free to unmute if you have any questions or comments or just want to chat for a minute. We're just going to kind of prep, so please feel free to chime in.
So,
well, I guess one interesting thing, a question for you guys, has anyone ever made sushi pizza before or have had it?
I have.
I was wondering, is this something you invented? Like, yeah.
Yes and no. No, I could definitely say no. I haven't had it in years, but I don't know, several years ago I lived in Hawaii, And one of my favorite things to do was to go find like sushi restaurants. And one of my most memorable experiences was going to the sushi restaurant and they sold sushi pizza. Like that was one of their dishes, which I thought was really interesting. And so I tried that and it's, I've never had it since. So we're probably talking a good like 12, 15 years ago. And it finally crossed my mind again. I thought, okay, you know what? I'm just going to attempt and try to make this. So do you want to check the rice? Looks okay. Yeah. Yeah, and so I think there's another way you can toast your rice if you'd like. I think if you had if you wanted to do a round version instead of a square version, you could put a skillet on the stove and you can put a little bit of sesame oil in the pan and you can kind of make almost like a big rice cake of the rice in a circle, and then you just flip it out from your skillet rather than in the pan. I've just found that it's a little bit easier to use the baking sheet in this method. So give me 1 second. I got my dog barking in the background and I'm gonna let him in. But I just wanted to show you, broke up some of this smoked cod and that's gonna go on our pizza. It looks like a little twisted on that side.
Yeah. I'll flip it around.
So with your sushi rice, when you're toasting it, it's really up to you how toasted you want it. Sometimes I like it a little bit toastier because it's nice and chewy and you have that little bit of a crunch. But I noticed like when we make it, Lucas likes it less toasted, softer, and sometimes it's a little like, I don't know, it's just a preference. It's just a preference thing. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and break up some of the smoked salmon. So the question in the chat is, what did they make it with in Hawaii? So in Hawaii, tuna was really prevalent. And so I just remember it was I remember there's cucumber and they had some spicy aioli sauce that was on it. And yeah, tuna, cucumber, and some spicy aioli, which I don't really remember because it's been a long time. But I just remember it was a pretty amazing dining experience that kind of just stayed with me. And so I'm just happy to recreate it and kind of in our own version. And it's one of those things that, you could really just individualize it, like Kristen, you're in Oregon, if there's anything that you forge with, you can go with a different theme. It doesn't have to be like raw seafood. Like tonight we're doing all like the smoked salmon and stuff that's already kind of cooked. So I think it's going to depend on like the season you're in and where you're at and what you can harvest. How is the rice? Is it good?
Yes.
I may over check it, but one time catching some wax paper on fire makes me want to check it quite a bit.
One trick is you can tuck any excess wax paper underneath.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be a.
So what is so Kristen says, I've got some garden kohlrabi that I'm going to give a try. What is that?
It's not a root vegetable. It's a bulb grows just above the ground. I just cut mine. Hold on.
Ooh,
Remember that's what
It looks like
about. She had a bunch of.
this.
oh, wow.
Normally it has like a bunch of leaves coming off the top and then the dirt is like right here.
Oh, wow. It kind of reminds me of like a
It looks like peeled.
rutabaga or something.
Yeah, but you can eat it raw. Like it's
Okay.
yeah, like it's really good just raw. And it's just something we can grow here. no idea how it's going to turn out.
Oh man, well, I'm so excited. And now I'm so curious and I want to try. That's such a good idea. Oh, did you have something?
Oh, I was gonna say, on that note, if you're vegetarian or gluten-free like Mary, knowing that the original soy sauce is gluten-free, the newer ones are not.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we're good, man.
Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna try to bring this over here just so we can see a little bit. But now that the sushi rice is out of the
Toasted.
oven, do you want to grab and flip it or do you want me to?
I'll flip it.
So what Lucas is gonna do is just grab it by the wax paper and he's gonna flip it onto the cutting board upside down. So then your wax paper is gonna be on top, not on the bottom, and we're gonna pull that wax paper off.
And I'm gonna do it gracefully.
Yes, let's. No pressure. Can you get it? Okay. Let it cool if you want for a minute.
Well, that would defeat the purpose of cooking.
And we just use a cutting board because then once it's on a cutting board, then you can, cut it into little squares and it's already. Oh, I'll pull it off. What do you need? The
No,
big.
I need this.
Oh,
Sticking.
so I'm gonna go ahead and set this back down. But please feel free if you want a closer look on something or we showed you, but it went, too fast, just chime in and I'm happy to show you. So one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of class is, did you pull out your cream cheese? Is it sitting on the counter? Is it getting soft and not so cold and easy to spread? I hope so. If you haven't, you're going to want to do that. How's it going?
Good.
Okay. Chives, cream cheese. Mhm.
You want me to bring stuff to you?
Yeah, let's put it here. So we're gonna just move this around just a little bit, hoping that you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, so I got my bowl of cream cheese.
You want the big spreader or the little one?
I think the little's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is when you're gonna use that spreader tool again. And if your sushi pizza crust has got a little misshapen, feel free just to, it's still a little bit moldable, so you can just squish it into a square. Or if it's in a skillet, it's round, use it round. Now, can you guys see okay? Let's see. So now I'm just gonna kind of mix up this cream cheese and get it soft and nice and spreadable. We've also done this another way where instead of doing cream cheese and then topping it with the smoked salmon, we actually used a smoked salmon spread that we made and then topped it with the rest of the ingredients. So really just have fun with it and use your imagination and what sounds good to you. Okay. It does work better when it's warmed up, this cream cheese.
Being difficult.
Yeah. So
Help.
maybe the,
Bigger one.
yeah. It's okay. Yeah, this part I feel like takes the longest. But you know, I don't know if you guys are makers of sushi, but I think we all know how long it takes to kind of roll sushi. And so this is just kind of a different alternative, and typically it's easier. Sometimes if that rice sits for a couple of minutes, that crust that you make, feel free to let it sit just a little bit. And it's a little bit easier to work with. It won't fall apart quite as easily. And again, I probably could have took my cream cheese out a little bit sooner. And kind of the softer that cream cheese is. I think they even sell it in tubs where it's like spreadable cream cheese, and it's just comes out a little bit easier.
Smaller.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but if not, I think it's okay, really.
Idea.
You do.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll do, I think for this, you want to do like half smoked cod and half smoked salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of falling apart there.
Perfect.
So a little bit more. Let me cover it to the corners. Yeah, I think, you know, covering it to the corners, because every piece you're going to cut, you're not going to cut it too big. So you want every piece to have all that like sushi goodness, like all the cream cheese and smoked salmon, and kind of everything there.
This in half, and you can do the other half. Huh?
Yeah.
To do the.
Oops. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got it. Yeah. And this is a fun one too if you have kids. Kids love to kind of participate in this one just because it's kind of like hands-on, and they can kind of pick, you know, what they can put on there, and it's almost like a no-fail recipe, you know, like kids put on what they like to eat, and it just makes it fun.
Well, let's be real. We all are kids.
Some act like kids.
Whoa. Whoa.
All right, covered it good.
Do you want me to do avocado on you too?
Yeah. There's some avocado on. Oh man, I don't know about you guys, but I am getting hungry. Okay. Megan, I wish you were next door. You can come over and have some sushi pizza with us. You have the sesame seeds? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Go ahead.
Next. So Lucas is just topping it with avocado and cucumber.
Oh.
Piece down, piece down.
Like Mary said, each little piece that we cut up is going to be a bite. So you want to make sure you spread it good and evenly throughout. She's fixing my
Mm.
chive.
Mm.
And
I like to add the black sesame seeds. Now, if you don't have the black sesame seeds, you could do toasted. I just think it adds a nice little flavor. And then if you have anything else, like we're gonna add a little bit of that dried beach asparagus. It just adds a nice little extra depth of flavor. And it's kind of like salt, you know, you don't have to add too much if you haven't used it before, or if you have like other seaweeds that you can dry and blend up to just make it really kind of easy to eat, you know, like you can use chunks of seaweed on this as well. But again, just remember, these are like little bite size. So here we go. So there we have it.
now,
And I'm just going to kind of stop for a second. And is there any questions? Or is there any, yeah, I guess any questions or any thoughts on this? People are saying it's beautiful. It looks so good. Thank you for the comments. Yeah. So yeah, we are, you know what, we're doing really good on time. We're coming close to the end. So I'm just gonna have Lucas go ahead and cut it up. And you don't have to have a knife as big as Lucas, but if you do, it makes it nice and easy. Just remember, nice, small, bite-sized squares. When you cut it, think of each square being a bite. Could be two, but just like a roll.
and this is where you know if you toasted it enough, because if they stick together, it's not. It needs a little longer toasting, but I think we did okay. Some of them are falling apart.
Mhm.
Oh, one down.
Do you need me to wipe this?
Yeah, I was
Your
just gonna
blade?
put them all
Okay, I see.
back down.
Ooh, looks so good.
Find the ones that need a little more love.
Yeah, okay. I really can't wait. I'm gonna have a little piece of the black cod and actually a little piece of ginger first.
Just in case my son watches this, I want to make sure he knows I'm using his chopsticks.
Oh, you. Oh. I'm like on camera. Oh man, don't drop it now.
Right? Oh, and of course I grabbed the one that's gonna fall apart.
That was so good.
Yeah, I just messed that up.
That's because you're doing it on camera.
Mhm.
Very good. So there you have it. Sushi pizza. Not really a hard meal to make, just kind of a fun one. There's just a couple little tricks. If you get it down, it'll be good to go. Oh, cheers. Thank you for joining our class. All right. Now I'm so excited to see what sushi pizza you guys make. Please feel free to share it at the local food challenge. If you're not sure where, Jennifer can let you know where. Salt and Soil's website and social media. And then also please feel free to message us on Instagram at Forest Fresh Alaska and let us see a picture of your beautiful work of art and what you chose to put on your sushi pizza. He's already digging in. And don't put too much wasabi on your sushi pizza.
Or do. It's
Whichever
good. It's
way.
good for you.
Mhm. Yeah.
This way.